Hi everyone, welcome to the third episode of BareTalks. Today we have a very special guest, Razali.
Hi. Hello. Let's go bear today.
Yeah, I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Noel.
Hi Noah, how are you?
I am good. How are you?
Looking very sharp today, Noah.
Thank you. I love your shirt.
Thank you. I made it myself.
I see.
I
How
like
did you do it?
I like tie-dye. I make a lot of tie-dyes.
Mhm.
So this is one of my favorite ones because it's a mandala that is not that easy to do. I think first time you try, I don't think it's gonna be like this.
Mm-hmm.
So even this ada lagi dia punya flaw. So but I like it.
Yeah, the
It's
artwork is very
intricate.
vibrant.
Yeah. It's actually hard to do a tie-dye and keep all the other parts white
Mm.
because you're playing with dye and stuff. So I like this. This is one of my
Yeah, how do you avoid it from spreading over to the other side of the shirt?
I think 100 white t-shirts. I think
100 white t-shirts, oh
yeah,
my
learning
goodness.
of how sometimes you tie it, you cling wrap it, you put it in foil, you try to do everything, you clean your workspace, but in the end, it's just down to proper planning and execution, just like everything else.
Nice.
Mm.
And maybe please tell us more about your brand as well. Like what do you do with the tie-dye and how do you...
I like tie-dye because I like colours. Really gotten into tie-dye, I think, when it was MCO time. Everyone was branching out. Semua orang cari benda baru nak buat. You know, pilot, jual laksa. And a lot of things was going on. So I said macam, okay, there's another part of my artistic side yang belum keluar lagi. So yeah, I got into tie-dye. Masuk kelas, learn how to mix colours like dekat Karang Craft, in Rawang. Learn how to mix colours like batik and stuff like that. And then learn how to fix colours. And then I started doing tie-dye. But I don't really sell my stuff. I actually sell the workshop.
I see.
Yeah, I want kids to learn and get their hands dirty.
Oh, how often do you run these workshops?
Twice a month, actually.
Twice a month?
Yeah, it's been going on. I mean, like, sometimes we go for private events. Sometimes we go to schools. We pitch at schools. We say, you know, for your art class, maybe take one curriculum punya subject. 2-3 apa orang cakap tu. What do they call it in school dulu?
Like
period.
period,
2-3
class
period kan.
periods, okay.
Ambil 2-3 period sekali and then bring your students. Kita buat tie-dye ramai-ramai. So that's been going on. We've done to a couple of schools. And then we go to rumah-rumah anak yatim as well. Going to a few this fasting month.
That's beautiful.
And then we go, bawa, bagi diorang buat. And then they really like it, you know, when we did it last year. Because sometimes for us, it's like normal because, you know, watching YouTube, tengok TikTok, people doing tie-dyes, and it's normal for us somewhat. But for them, when someone comes and teaches them this art and then they wear the t-shirt, they appreciate it on a different level. And sometimes that's why people, I think, practice, you know, giving. Because it's not really for whatever, it's just for seeing them happy, I think.
Right, the smile just on their faces.
Yeah,
makes
the
it.
appreciation kan. Diorang
Exactly.
betul-betul menghargai kan because but then again if you go to one rumah kebajikan, janganlah pergi sekali tu je. Kalau boleh make an effort to go like next month, 2 months once because they register your face. Kita mungkin lupa balik kan, but they remember. So find one, be consistent with that house, kenal nama diorang and keep going.
That's true. And then they also spark their their creative curiosity.
Exactly.
With colours and all that, and then they see the world in a much more colourful way as well.
Yeah, and then
That's
sometimes
really
it's like really, really naive and innocent question. Abang, macam mana nak jadi pelakon abang? Sometimes,
It's okay.
macam mana nak jawab dik? You talk to them, but then they want to know because they also have dreams kan.
Yes.
So maybe they might have different path in their life, but maybe that's why they jumpa orang-orang yang macam kita ni. We can
inspire them.
Yeah, spark something in them.
That is true. That's great. I love what you're doing for the children especially. And what is your brand called?
3 Heads.
3 Heads.
Yeah, simply 3 Heads because it's 3 of us. Yeah.
Nice. And maybe
3 Heads Fabric Art actually.
3 Heads Fabric Art. Nice. Then maybe if you have a link, I'll put it in the description box so you guys can check it out.
Can join our workshop also.
Yes, that would be a good idea. And in conjunction to that, Razali is actually the host for Art Attack.
Oh yes, I am.
He was a huge part of my childhood. Man, I was really shocked. I was like, when I first found out that she was the host, I was I was stunned. I was like, wow, you were a part of my childhood, like the whole time.
But really, being like, I don't know, I'm honored. I am honored to know that.
Yeah, because I
But
watched it every day.
it never really hit me until like TikTok came about. You know why? Because okay, before this, okay, we did Art Attack. Okay, it was all done in Argentina. It was filmed, blah blah blah. Okay, but it was a Southeast Asia thing, kan? Because it was not just in Malaysia. It was Malaysia, Indonesia, Philippines, and I think Thailand. I'm not sure, kan? But it was on TikTok. Someone mentioned me, and they were talking about this host on Art Attack. I think it was in MCO 2021 or something, kan? So they were talking about this host in Art Attack, kan? Oh, this guy, I tell you, no, I think he's married, right? He's got 2 kids. Oh no, like he died in a car accident.
Oh my
No,
goodness.
I'm like reading all these things about me. And I'm like, oh. And they're like Filipinos, and they're like, people not from Vietnamese. Vietnamese banyak tengok. I don't know, for some reason.
Wow, you have a huge Vietnamese fan base.
Good to know. Good to know. We can go do our tie-dye in Vietnam.
Yes.
Yeah, but then again, that's when it hit me like macam, wow, it was actually an Asian thing. Because it was not, it was just a Disney Channel punya benda, kan? But then it was like, wow, you know, people in Cambodia are saying I died in a car crash. It's like, wow. It's like, you know, all this tabloid news, kan? So it felt like the magnitude, the how far it went as Art Attack was actually quite an achievement lah.
Oh, it is, because I remember watching it. I was following some of your work. Me and my friends would come over. We would watch it together. We would sit down and we would just wait for the episode to come out. Like I was obsessed.
Kan? And then the art. Well, I know because some people like to apa cakap compare Art Attack. My generation would say it was Neil Buchanan, kan? Because that was us growing up.
Correct.
Pakcik Neil was always the guy. But then when we dah keluar from that generation, Art Attack pun dah lama hilang. You can't expect Neil to come and do again, kan? So they rebranded it, did it into a franchise. So they ada Art Attack India, Art Attack UK, Art Attack Mexico, and the other Art Attack Asia. So I'm proud to carry that baton from Neil. Kan, suka hati je claim kan. After Neil, there's Chi.
Yes.
Suka hati je kan.
I mean, you're the legend, man.
No lah, I mean,
for real.
I've done quite some things in my life, in my career. Some very proud of, some not so, but that's just the journey.
Of course.
If you ask the right question, a lot of things that people never knew about Chi Razali can be brought up. But it all depends on you.
Oh, for sure.
In your sharp, nice looking outfit.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I want to dive deep with you today
Whoa.
and see how deep we can get.
See how bare am I willing to put myself out there.
Exactly. Lepas tu kalau ada benda censored pun boleh censor je lepas tu.
Tak apa, ada edit lepas ni, tak apa.
So
dia ada satu clause yang sebelum release tu kita tengok dulu.
Exactly.
Ini 13:42 ni boleh tak kita kaji balik kan?
True, to rewatch it over again.
No lah, sometimes I wish that in podcast I will share things that is not normally, shared. I wish that in every different podcast yang I come out in, there's something new about me that people find out. Because I even, it's not just an interview and it's not just borak kosong. It's, you're supposed to like share something about me that is the core of me. What is Chi Razali? Who is Chi Razali? At least one point pun boleh lah. I don't expect one podcast to like dissect me semua and like, oh, itu Chi Razali kan. But maybe if you combine all the different podcasts, then you can see, oh, dia macam ni, dia macam ni.
So then they can fit the whole picture of who you are.
Yeah.
With different episodes is how you slowly reveal yourself layer by layer. Sounds good.
Because I remember dulu, when I was in my younger days, I was very bubbly tau. Macam I ingat a lot of people would like macam, I would come and I would make everyone laugh and everything kan. Fast forward, somehow after my 37, 38, people start taking me seriously. Maybe it's the beard, I don't know. Masuk bilik je orang macam serious lah, macam bang, I'm macam relax kan. I'm like, I want to be that cheerful energy like I was. But then again, I think that's just life lah kot. That's just the process. But then when people get to know me, then they know ni masuk air juga budak ni kan. Then they see the real me. So I guess it's good Like you have your janggut. People take you seriously.
True. And also the man bun as well, I think. I think that's how we realized, like, especially doing the first project with you, flying to Sarawak with Nakib, and then from there we had our
Nakib.
personal time, together, lipa-lipa, and then
Nakib tu seorang yang nakal.
for sure, and talented as well.
Betul.
It's very talented.
Betul. I like to believe I'm always chucked in the right pool of people lah.
Agreed. And would you say like art attack was one of the first things that brought you into this industry? Or would it before
Art
that?
attack was one of, I think as a host, that was my pinnacle lah. I think that was the peak lah. From Destinasi Budget, and then it went to the streets. It was all travel shows, and then it went to Jalan-Jalan Cari Makan. And then, you know, after being in that Jalan-Jalan Cari Makan, you think like macam, oh, you've established something. But then you get a call, do you want to come for an audition? Audition for a host, for an art show. Audition? Like macam biasanya, call terus, nak terus tanya date terus kan, ni kenapa nak audition? Macam, apa ni kan? So it was Redcom that call lah. So I went, I said, what is this? Dia kata it's a audition in Southeast Asia, punya besar. I said, okay, I want to go to the audition. So practice lah. So practice, dia bagi script, practice, and then I sort of like knew, because they gave the premise kan, you're sitting on a big pencil, and you're like in a jungle, and then you're like, you know, talking about art kan. So I sort of like knew it was an art show kan. But tak ada harapan lah, tak ada hope. That means I just go in, do my best. Pergi, Wasim PJ, dekat Kelana Jaya punya Redcom office tu, kat corner tu. Yeah, somehow, it just happened lah. It just happened, they picked me, and then started waxing everything. Because that was a Disney thing. They did not make me wax. What? They took me and they waxed me. I had no choice, bro.
What in the world?
Yeah, because everything had to be clean shaven. Here. Even here they shave a bit.
What?
That was a Disney thing. No facial hair lah. Go and show me one Disney host yang ada jambang and whatnot.
That's a bit weird though.
No lah, I think it was the branding lah. Okay. So in Argentina, once a week, I'll go wax my hands up here.
Oh my goodness.
Because also it was a camera, and then you have to tiba-tiba nampak kan tangan Mamat ni macam ni pula kan. See, not so friendly lah. Maybe when they wax and then ada bedak sikit, so it's like a bit baik sikit.
Sure, it looks more clean as well.
Lipat macam ni.
Nice. Did it hurt for them to wax?
First few times.
Okay, then after that it's just numb lah.
After that it was like biasa lah.
Nice.
But I think threading lagi sakit.
Threading? Your eyebrows, is it?
I've tried once. I know I cannot, but I tried once. Sakit bro.
It is. I have done it a few times because I have very thick eyebrows.
Sakit kan?
So I have to do it sometimes because it gets very messy.
Because I saw the signs of it kan. I said, how does it work? They take the thread, tarik, and then they go around the thing and then they tarik. They plug kan. Macam,
it's like sewing your eyebrows.
Dude, sakit dude.
It is.
So it was a once in a lifetime punya experience lah.
Nice.
After that, kita biar our not blushy eyebrows here. It's not bushy, so I leave it.
They make it more clear.
It's almost not there.
It's okay lah, ada lah. Go. I can see.
Sikit lah.
It's that. Nice. And also, as an actor, right? What would you say would be what inspired you as growing up as a kid in your childhood, in your teen years? What inspired you to become an actor? Why did you get into this field?
One was a movie, one was an actor. I mean, one movie that I really liked was maybe cliche lah, or maybe not to say cliche, maybe it's a bit weird. I really like Rocky, you know. Rocky and First Blood. Masa kecil-kecil I really like, because First Blood was nice because Rocky was like a story about boxing, and at that time it wasn't a norm. It was a different type of energy. You felt like macam, aku rasa macam nak lari naik tangga tu kan. It's like, you know, and it's like, and his acting was like so real, and I know they're not boxing for real life, but it's like, it changed me. And then the song and everything, it was The Eye of the Tiger.
Oh, nice.
First it was that. And then in terms of acting, banyak lah actor yang best-best, yang gila-gila, yang gempak-gempak. You see your De Niro, you see your Pacino, you see all this, semua ada. But it was Adrian Brody yang sebenarnya unlock something that I said, like I saw him in I can't remember the movie. Yeah, I'll give you by the end of the podcast.
The Pianist, is it? Or?
It could be The Pianist, but it wasn't. It was he is one versatile actor lah. You can put in any film and he would be him in his own aura. You can put him in an alien film.
Yeah.
Alien film pun dia boleh jadikan gempak cerita tu kan.
Betul,
I mean it's
betul.
and then he just wants more for Brutalist kan. So I think he has that thing of what an actor is. I mean he's not that kind of guy yang you can imagine yourself being him because he's not your Chris Hemsworth. He's not that buff perfect gym guy kan. I mean acting ni pun banyak juga lah benda. For me,
I can see some similarities though for Adrian Brody. You have the look, the nose.
Bro, jangan cakap macam tu. Bron marah nanti.
Oh, really?
Malaysia, Bron. Adrian Brody, Bron. If you ask me my acting je tu kan, Adrian Brody, Bron.
Okay.
Ni semua my people that I look at lah. Because in terms of acting, they bukan cakap they go deep, but they take seriously the art. Because everything that they put out there is an art.
That's true.
Because you don't want to go out there as yourself in every film. Because you don't want 10 Mona Lisa paintings. You just want one. Next one, you go to your next one. You go your next.
Very good point.
But at the same time, there's only certain things that you can do lah as an actor. For me, I'm not coming from per se, bukan datang 100% daripada acting background. First, I went into music, find out, crafted my art, achieve something with music.
Music? Oh,
kan? That was first OAG kan?
Oh,
when
yes,
first
OAG,
when I was
yes.
15, 16, I started OAG with Radi semua and then we got our whatever that we explored and we did, adalah something there. Okay, so musically, I have achieved something, I dare say. And then, even for hosting, there's my own, apa orang cakap, catalog, my own things that I've done. Won an award juga with Field Trip USA. So there's something I can be proud of with hosting juga. And while I did all these things, I never really tried to mix all this. I never really played music and host and act. I never really hosted, played music and act. I tried to betul-betul faham what is hosting all about first.
You want to master the art first and then focus on
in a
it.
humble way. Yeah, lebih kurang lah kan.
Yeah, I respect that.
So, doing that with acting now.
Okay.
Like, there's a philosophy kan yang I get when I was drumming when I was younger. And this one I've never shared with anyone. When I was playing drum dulu-dulu, masa nak main show ke apa ke, dia ada satu nervous tau macam, shit man. Tengok luar, buka luar macam, we are like only 17, 18 kan. Buka luar macam, ramai orang kan. Nervous kan nak main kan. Takut salah. Takut timing. Takut macam-macam lah. Stick patah. Takut ni, takut tu. So many things that you're afraid of kan. So the only thing that I can do masa tu is like whenever I practice cukup, when the band practice cukup, nervous tu tak banyak sangat. We're like confident. We're more like having fun out there kan. So it was practice, preparation. Akan control you punya nerves. That was the first thing that I learned as a musician. And then that falsafah tu, it's actually basic. Everyone teaches you that kan. If you prepare for something, you'll do well. But after going through that experience, baru I sedar in my own, apa orang cakap, my own POV, how it was supposed to work. That means you cannot refrain yourself from making mistakes. That's inevitable. Itu memang akan jadi. Semua orang, because sometimes it's not up to you, sometimes it's something else. Kan? Okay, so inevitable things kita cuba untuk minimize. But what you can do is just focus on yourself. Apa yang kita boleh buat tu, at least our part tu we're firm. You know, it doesn't matter what happens, kita kat sini ni kita dah firm dah. Biarlah lampu jatuh ke apa ke, drum aku, I'm keeping this beat.
You're in character.
I'm keeping this beat. You know, aku akan pegang ni juga. Whatever happens pun, patah kayu pun, ambil kayu baru, and then you start playing baru kan. So all these things that you do to keep that beat. And that was my position lah. Itu tanggungjawab dia.
What was your prep work like before you get into
jamming
performance?
at home lah. Jamming at home. Jamming at home, jamming with the band. Band ni dia susah sikit kalau kita jamming seorang-seorang kat rumah tapi yang lain tak jam pun susah.
You have to be in sync lah throughout the process.
Paling tak pun you and your bassist.
Okay.
So when you both lock, gitar tu semua longgar pun dia, you can still ding 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 ding. You can still go, you know. Boleh lagi kan. And then kita boleh tipu lagi cakap kat those guys, up sikit bass. Bunyi gitar tak best ni, up lagi bass. You can still cover lah. But you have to be prepared. Sama juga dengan hosting. Dulu takut nak pergi depan ni, takut nak pergi depan tu. But when you research on the place, okay, we're going to Terengganu. Baca semualah pasal Terengganu beyond the script. Script bagi nak pergi sini kan. Okay. But then you kena buat your own research juga. Buka Terengganu, buka yang lain, buka makanan, buka semua. Oh. And then masuk sini balik, you nak goreng sedap. Because you're goreng based on something that you plug from in a relevant world. So you're prepared. So you as a host masuk pun lagi equipped. You know? And you can make a serious punya topic fun and entertaining. Because you yourself interested, you yourself dah faham. And then you deliver best lah. But if you hafal, you also struggling to understand what you're saying.
It's very unnatural.
And then you're just delivering lines lah kan.
That is true. Yeah.
Kan, as opposed to like, inilah dia bangunan State House Building dekat Melaka yang dibina pada 15 blah 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 blah. Dikatakan pernah dulu kat sini perang. Jom kita teruskan perjalanan kita. Nothing wrong. You got information out.
Yes.
Kan? You're standing in front of the building.
It's very flat lah.
But information out. Kan? And if it is a pleasant person, okay. You've got your polling factor. Okay, orang akan tengok depan TV. Yes. But there's the other type of host yang macam faham apa dia punya, he understands the apa orang cakap, he understands the assignment.
Correct.
Faham tak? So, and then dia punya explanation will be different. Masuk-masuk je patutlah warna merah. Sebab tahu tak dulu masa Belanda datang kat sini, dia datang kat situ tadi. Lepas tu bila dia datang kat sini, kapal tu bila datang tu, 15 orang yang mula-mula datang tu, inilah tempat dia. And then you can go to State House Building 1511. Sampai hari ni ada.
Nice.
And then people pun macam, you take them on a journey. Kan? Orang pun macam boleh imagine.
It's more personalized as well.
Yeah. So because that's why I say as a host, you have to be interested in the thing and you have to be curious about that topic. Because ultimately it's not your script yang asking questions. You are the one asking questions. So even if the script writer is very enthusiastic about the subject, the host is not, it will not come out as engaging.
That's right. Nice. Did anything crazy happen like during the shoot? Like with
Not
fans or anything?
Fans tu pun ada lah kot, tapi tak tahu lah. In terms of fans, it wasn't with JJCM lah, it wasn't with Jajan Cik Makan. Different era, different lifestyle lah. Fans were crazier.
Oh damn.
Music, I would say, music, yes, fans gila.
Crazy. Okay, what is the crazy thing that you can share?
That can share.
Nah, this will be
Oh,
juicy.
not the craziest thing that happened, the craziest thing that I can share.
Okay. Boleh.
Okay bro, okay. Cakap pasal music kan. Okay, I was 16.
Okay.
When we record the album, we was 17. So habis SPM, people sibuk masuk university, sibuk masuk college, sibuk masuk all these places. We were touring. The music just somehow, it just exploded. It was just a phenomenon. Suddenly 60s TV just blew. Everyone was singing, everyone was like talking about it. It was crazy. Tak expect langsung kan. Lupa diri, belagak, poyo, semua. I was that, I swear. Dulu jalan, okay, then dulu rambut panjang kat kan, macam sini. Then I had my earrings like 7 here, had 1 here, had 1 here. Almost had 1 here. But then sini, masa tidur ada parut tau, you tengok ada parut.
Yeah,
here or here? Here kan?
Yes, that.
One line kan?
Yeah.
Because when I slept, sangkut kat my selimut. So when I woke up, it just yanked it out.
Lama.
So macam nak pasang sini, nak balance kan dia punya ni kan. Tak payah. Sakit kan. So tak payahlah. So anyway, it was at that time, the music time was crazy lah. Sebab dia, okay, masa tu tak ada phone, tak ada apa. So there was no selfie, there was no nothing. Semua orang datang akan either brought a Polaroid of you and a marker, ask you to sign, or an autograph book, buka abang boleh sign tak, or sign on money, sign on t-shirts, sign on everything that you can imagine.
I see. Everything that I can imagine. Oh my goodness. Underwears as well? Nice.
There was a show, there was a place when we were in JB. The organizer scam lah the fans kan, patut buat dekat hotel ni, and everyone dah datang dekat hotel poolside semua, and then pergi tengok macam mana drum set, mana amp semua kan, macam mana show ni kan. So and then we found out the organizer paid us but raped the fans.
Oh no.
Cancelled the show, cakap something happen, hujan ke apa, cancel the show kan. So we were all angry. Walaupun kita dah dapat payment, tapi kita angry because we wanted to play. Pergi sana, dah pergi Johor, main lah, because at that time the energy bila orang best kan. So bila balik naik atas, sampai kat atas tu, bilik kita orang kat atas tu, buka tu, nampak lagi diorang semua kat swimming pool. Rasa macam Beatles, buka sikit je, wah, macam weh. Masa tu I swear, buka lagi je macam macam tu kan. So I was angry at the organizer. Kita orang pun gila masa tu, cakap tak boleh macam ni kan, tak boleh macam ni, takkan balik macam ni kan. So cakap balik boxer lah.
Oh damn.
I took off my boxers and I threw out the window.
Nice. So I'm pretty sure
someone ada lagi boxer tu.
I'm sure she framed it.
I don't know. I don't know.
He lah. I mean, depends.
That one is a different thing. I don't know, because it was a blue one, I think. Ada bintang kuning, blue with yellow stars kan.
Nice.
Something like that.
I think maybe a few years from now they might sell it as well.
How it's going to be hard to prove lah.
We can bid it lah.
Macam mana nak tahu siapa punya?
Ada DNA, ada nombor. Who knows?
Yeah, well, I think that was one of the craziest things I did for the fans lah.
Nice.
Don't know lah if this story should come out or not kan, but never mind.
We'll see.
Ni semua 20 years ago punya cerita, or maybe more.
True. You were 16 at that point.
17, 18 lah. And then after music, it was hosting. Break kejap, masuk college balik. And then kerja Air Asia kejap. There was a down point lah. This was all OAG. Telemarketer.
Oh,
yeah, from throwing boxes, I became a telemarketer.
Nice. For how long?
1.5 years, I think. This was all after OAG lah. When I gave up OAG, I lost everything lah. That one is a different podcast, but I lost everything. Like, everything was taken away. Rambut botak, everything gone.
Oh my.
Okay, so and then when I came out again, Subang semua gone. Then had to start new again. Fresh balik. No more OAG, tak ada apa-apa. Being a part of OAG, I realised cannot bring me to any job kan. Pergi kerja ke apa ke. I was a part of OAG, tak penting. They were looking for something else. So anyway, kerja tried to sell alarms, tak boleh. The ADT, pergi jual alarm ADT kat tempat tu semua tak boleh. Kena maki semua, belah. And then ended up in Filio Damansara. Tiba-tiba buka pintu ni, tengok meja panjang macam banyak komputer, banyak graf. I cakap, what the hell is this kan? Ini nak kata bursa saham bukan, tapi macam pelik je kan. So after one day of being trained there, tak boleh belah. Foreign exchange yang dodgy punya lah.
Like a scam-ish.
Looking for investors and stuff like that. Tak nak. Okay. And then tak nak belah. And then met a friend. Dia kata nak tak jadi kerja kat Asia. Telemarketer. Call center.
Nice.
Bukan telemarketer, call center.
Did you use your name as
tak ada. I mean, adalah yang orang kenal, but at that time dah. After that shift tu, I was like trying to not be associated with OAG lah. Rambut dah pendek, stop music, pakai shirt and tie and everything. Huge shift. Followed my late dad punya advice lah. Studied finance also, took my CFP, Certified Financial Planner. I can do your will for you. I can do your, I can.
Nice.
But I don't think you should be writing your will anytime soon lah kan.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends lah, but
it's good to have. but yeah, I am actually certified to do that.
Okay.
Of course, I have to buka balik buku kan. But never mind. Yeah, I did that. So worked in a will writing company sekejap with my dad, and then I went to that call center. 1.5 years. after being in the Asia call center, and then I masuk college, IACT.
Oh, ICT. The one at Asia Jaya there kan? Is it? Or
Yeah, but masa tu it was at Damansara Utama. It was near uptown there. It was still in shop houses. One class dekat atas sini, and the next class turun pergi 2 shop house lain dekat atas sana, turun sana. Dia belum jadi belum ex BAC lagi. So it was still a small school, and I went there. I did broadcasting, I did mass comm, and I did advertising and branding.
Nice.
Because at that time I wanted to be creative director CD. Macam Leo Bennett, Sachi and Sachi, semua benda-benda ni was like my dream. But it did not go there. I think my passion is for creating kot. Whether it be music, drawing, logo, tie-dye or whatever my art is, I think it's about creating. I think that's the core.
Nice. And
I don't know why I said that, but it's just random. But yeah, I just felt like saying that.
No, I think it's beautiful.
I think I just realized that.
Yeah, because you're also creating emotions, you're changing lives, you're impacting people. The stories you tell, the personas that you portray in your films, each has its own purpose. And I say each has its own impact. Like especially the film that you did recently, Baba.
Oh,
I cried watching that film. That was a beautiful film, Chi. That's a beautiful film. Yeah.
Thank you. But even that was like a whole journey also, because Baba came from War on Terror, Lang kan.
Yes.
That was a different character. That was like, actually I wanted to play Lang more, but when I got the script, I was macam, tak lah, asal sikit sangat dialog kan. It was like so sikit, like, you know, like I can, but then tak apalah, because we wanted to be part of that film kan. Because I went casting for the adik, which is Joe, yang the kuat tu, yang the crazy one kan. One yang you know, when all guns blazing. But then the director said, why don't you try for the brother? What do you mean? He's the cool, quiet one. Dia mastermind dia semua. Dia hidup. Adik dia mati. Dia hidup kat ujung-ujung. And I'm like, think hidup. Ada part 2 ke? Ada part 2 Ada part 2. Oh, tak sure ke? Okay, tak ada. So kita pun so we took that thing, and then kita baca skrip dia macam, oh wow, banyak one-liner ni kan, apa benda ni. And then it was a different challenge. And then I remembered I saw one documentary. If it wasn't Adrian Brody, I think it was someone else, talking about acting with your eyes kan. I think about 70-60% is all in your eyes kan. So the rest comes after that lah kan. So everything else I've done in my life boleh dikatakan, okay, you want to talk about being a son, you can have that look, anger towards mak, bapak, adik, beradik, semua ada. A lover, you've been hurt, you've hurt people, you've been loved, you love people, so you have that eyes, you have that jiwa. If you're talking about Kitara is a killer, macam mana nak ada mata killer? Like how do you have that killer eyes kan? Macam you don't say anything. Kita bukan nak muka garang. Kan? Kita bukan nak itu kan, this is not an animation kan.
Correct.
So I asked a couple of experienced actors yang I think pernah buat benda-benda macam ni. So I asked one, without mentioning names, dia kata you can buy a bird, patahkan leher dia and tengok dia mati.
What?
I did not do it lah.
Okay kan.
I did not do it lah.
Okay.
But I was like macam,
oh my goodness.
Dia kata macam he did that lah. Dia kata dia tuk. Dan dia kata dia tengok. Dia kata badan bayangkan, tapi kalau abang patah dia tak nampak apa. Abang patah mati je kan. That was my own thought lah. Kenapa tak potong and then tengok kan? If you wanted to kill the bird lah.
Exactly.
But we did not go with the bird.
Okay.
Okay, so we skip that bird punya benda. So okay, tu tak boleh. And next one, dia cakap, you can feel your mind and biasakan diri dengan benda yang kau tak biasa. Dia dah masuk technical lah ni kan, about things, unlearning things, masuk blah 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 kan. But don't go too deep with acting lah. Relax je kan, relax je. So what I did was I just masuk Telegram group yang all this cartel punya group, yang potong leher, potong tangan, potong telinga, potong lidah, potong first day I think lah, the first few days tengok macam uish, tak boleh tengok siut. Sikit je dia tarik balik bibir nak potong je, uish, tak boleh. And then lagi dekat dengan date shoot tu,
Oh my goodness.
lagi pressure.
Yeah.
Then cak tengok by the end of that second week, it was a different me. I was like tengok, oh ada tulang putih, ada urat putih kat sini sebenarnya. Dia tinggal potong dah kan. It was just like just seeing daging kat pasar je lah kan. Dah macam
That was your shadow side.
dah tengok dah, dah tengok semua. And then I became quiet. Then my PA at that time pun macam, kau macam mana ni? Time shooting kau memang tak nak cakap dengan orang dah ke macam mana? Tak adalah macam tu. But it was just being in that zone. I like being in that zone when you do something kan. I don't go all 100% like macam orang cakap method or whatever. I'm very technical. I'm very technical. I study the script, study the character, plan nak buat apa.
And you're able to get in and out of the character as you're doing the acting as well? Or usually
Not
you
really.
would be the same person throughout?
Not really. Because when I went to audition Baba, I had to go twice. The first time director cakap, kau sebelum ni buat watak apa? Dia kata macam, okay, nampak kau punya apa, melembut kasih sayang tu tak ada, dia kata.
I see.
So I have to go back and watch cartoons. I swear, I have to go back watch cartoons, tengok balik benda-benda best. Tengok balik. Sekarang buka Telegram tu dia dah macam,
So now you're out of that character lah.
I'm out of that character. And then I was in Baba for a while.
How were you on set though when you were acting as the terrorist? How were you towards people? How did you treat
I was
them?
alone. I was alone.
You was alone the whole time?
Tak ada alone. I was
Really?
like macam always on my own lah, buat hal sendiri. Like the rest, Eddie and all the rest would like, you know, the younger, they go and like gelak-gelak sini, gelak sana, kacau sini, kacau sana.
Tapi kalau
I akan relax kat satu tempat je. I akan relax kat tempat relax. Sama ada baca skrip, tengok phone, or just, you know, talk to director, I talk more to the crews and the technical guys than I do to cast.
I see.
I don't know, somehow it's always like that.
Tapi kalau orang datang and talk to you, how would you respond?
I'm
Would you
okay.
be you're fine,
I'm
right?
okay. I'm okay. I'm okay.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm okay, but it's just like sometimes it's a work, bro, kan. It's a work. Like my work so happens to be that. Their work so happens to punch in, punch out. At the end of the day, it's work.
Yeah, that's true.
Kan? At some maybe work kita ada lebih attention. But just don't.
Sorry.
That was loud.
Yeah,
That was loud.
I'm so sorry. Have a phlegm here.
Okay.
Stuck.
Jangan edit tu yang biar yang tu.
Yeah.
Biar yang tu.
I cough like an uncle lah sometimes people say, you know. Badan kecil tapi batuk macam pakcik.
Alamak, badan kecil batuk pakcik.
Batuk pakcik. So,
Badan kecil batuk pakcik. Yeah. So I think just be cool about it lah. I think, you know, you can have the energy, use it. Be appreciative of those who support you. But I think just be cool about it lah. It's good to know that you have a support system. It's good to know you have a lot of fans supporting you. But just jangan sampai you lose that value lah.
that essence of being a person lah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, it's work. And then sometimes you don't know, you boleh spark orang lain. Sometimes they can get things from you, through you, without you having to do anything. You just be nice to someone, you know, blah, 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 blah.
Good karma lah, right?
Yeah, I think it's good karma, good energy. Just be cool lah. I mean, won't be here forever pun. And we have a cycle. So, you know, just be cool about things. Be nice to as many people as you can. Focus on your art. But then if you're being a nice person pun susah juga tau. Pernah juga macam nak berlakon and then you kena kurang ajar dengan orang yang lebih tua pada you kan. I would go and say, abang, lepas ni saya nak buat macam ni tu abang. But I have to explain to them because after that I'm going to be really rude. Kan? What if I tertolak kepala kita kan and then dia bapak kita dalam tu kan. And then outside pun kita takkan buat benda tu dekat dia kan.
Exactly.
Bila cut dia cakap, bang, sorry bang lepas ni kita buat lagi. Macam tu lah kan. You can joke about it after that.
Nice.
So I mean, it's all about being human and having values at the same time. Because when you go into whatever work pun, if you not human and you don't have values, your values can be anything tau. I'm not talking about it can be anything. It can be about your art. It can be about you wanting to be simple. Values lah, macam-macam kan. So, you have to have a strong core of these things, and then you can exist. Whatever change that comes, you can adapt and still keep your core.
That's beautiful.
Because you don't want to change and lose your previous self kan. Because there was something in your previous self that brought you here. And today, the world dah ubah. You still have to carry that previous self, but in a new shell. So we just keep going, adapting, be nice, and focus on your art.
Nice. That's very down to earth.
Itu je.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that's it. And then when you look back, ada kerja-kerja yang aku buat yang bangga. Ada juga kerja yang kita tak bangga, but then it's part of the process. Sometimes people say, select kan, nak cakap about script lah. Sorry lah, I'm just going deeper into all this kan.
No,
might as well share kan.
Yes, of course.
Because lately I find myself turning down a couple of scripts. It's not because kita memilih. Of course kita memilih. But it's like, I rasa we all have the right to say no. You know, like for me, if you don't have 150% in that script, I won't take it lah. Kesian to the script writer, kesian to the director and whatnot kan, because I will just wanting it to finish kan, as opposed to like breaking down every scene, talking to the director, macam ni, kalau ni okay tak kita buat macam ni, kenapa macam ni, you talk in the process with your cast. I prefer that. I prefer many takes. Okay bang, tadi kita try macam tu, saya nak try lain sikit bang, because I'm not a perfect actor kan, macam unless you really get it, macam okay ni memang pecah barang semua benda, tu one take lah. Nak buat balik semua tu tak mungkin lah kan.
You prefer to perfect the scene.
Yeah, for example like Baba, ada one part tu dia kata 2 takes, semua kamera dah buat, 3-4 kamera semua dah buat. So I really slam my hand lah, cakap okay tak apalah, this part tak apalah, anak sakit kan, okay we slam our hand betul-betul lah. I wanted to break that table sebenarnya, but it was a thick table, I cannot break pun. So I slam, betul-betul slam lah. Wow, so everything semua pecah. And after that, tangan agak ais agak luar kan, dah macam tu kat ais lah kan. And then the AD datang, bang, sorry bang, kita kena buat balik bang.
Alamak.
So semua kan, so it happened. Of course dia tak jadi sama. Of course dia takkan sama.
Did the first take make the cut in the end?
I think it was the second take.
The second take, okay.
I think the first one was some camera punya error.
I see.
So it was that first take yang sebenarnya kan. So I guess as an actor pun, ni benda-benda baru bagi aku yang aku rasa kena faham in case benda ni jadi lagi kan. Adakah kita tak sepatut buat macam tu, ataupun adakah kita patut, kita sedar ruang, we know our space, we know we're acting, but at the same time sometimes we feel okay, if it's one take, boleh tak kita try bagi real macam. So kalau dia betul-betul buat, takkan dia nak macam nak ada control pula kan, macam what if kita betul-betul lepas. But sometimes jadi macam tu 2-3 kali dan so these are things that I'm still learning lah as an actor. So how do I, maybe next time tak buat full lah kot, try to bagi nampak macam full, tapi so, acting lah. Back to the basic, acting lah kan. Acting tu bagi nampak macam benda tu memang kau dah why me, apa lagi aku buat tak cukup kan.
I want to bring back to because you mentioned about how you humanize your role, because even as an actor, even being in the limelight, even having so much fans, so much people around you, being able to portray different characters to different roles as well, and then being able to also make an impact in the world, make an impact with your audience, make an impact in your community, like what you do with art and all that. And what keeps you being a good human being?
Close to the people around me. Sometimes not as close as I wish to. Like I wish I was closer to all my siblings, but What I mean is close to the people that are here to support you. Don't make yourself inaccessible. Like, as much as they are there for you, and although it's impossible for you to be there for everyone, but yeah, try to also be there for them. I think also always appreciate them, always know that we are just, it's just our work. Like I said, don't let it get to the head, kan, because at the end of the day, I wish I can meet all of them, although that's impossible, but yeah, that would be good. I think we should always keep it a two-way communication. Don't be so distant from them. Don't just be like a figure, be someone they can reach out to.
Do you feel like your family also inspire you to be who you are today? So,
Yeah, I think my late father played a huge role lah. He, my brother and my sister, okay, there's 4 of us, I'm the youngest. The oldest one is close to me lah. I would say closer than my other 2 because same passion, I guess, music and creative things, and he's also into some of the stuff that I like. So we share a lot of things together. So we do a lot of stuff together juga dulu, but we're quite far apart. He's 1969, 8 years apart. So jauh jugalah dia punya gap kan. And yeah, he played a role in my music development early years because he was in a band, so he had the drum set at home. So whenever I come back from school, Standard 5, Standard 6, Form 1, Form 2, I would play the drums. Whenever he's not there, these headphones. Dengar lagu-lagu dia, belajar main drum. And then, discovered different music, and then I went into my own genre that I like. Completely different from him. Time signature semua lain. Dia main slow. Kan?
then
Itu
you
yang gitu yang ganas kan. Because we were young kan. And we didn't want to be the same. I think as semua budak-budak, like, growing up, you want to find the identity. Of course, you want to be your own person. So that was the first molding of Razali, the metalhead. Masa tu betul muka macam budak-budak baik, rambut sikat tengah, pergi sekolah, baju obituary kan. Tapi pakai braces, rambut sikat tengah, tak sedar kita ni orang tengok macam relax kan, tapi nak pakai obituary kan, karkas, napalm death kan, ganas nama diorang.
Can you show me
The
that?
worst names you can think of, itulah dia band zaman tu punya metal.
Nice. Do you have a photo of you doing something like this? Like full on rock. Do you have a photo?
Oh no, we cannot say rock at that time.
Oh, it's not rock. It's, what would you say the
It's
genre is?
metal at that time.
Metal. Okay, heavy metal.
Death metal.
Death metal. Okay, cool.
I like
cool.
death metal and even some napalm death is different. Napalm death is grindcore.
Okay.
Now we're going deep in music, so we don't have to go deep there lah. Those were all the things that I was into, and then baru went on to other stuff. So my father in the early years, he forced me to join a piano class. So I studied piano until Form 3, so that was my basics. Because he loves music, he loves classical music. Banyak dia punya CD. And then at every one time, dia akan tanya, in his car driving, and dia akan tanya, okay, who's this? And dia akan tanya, who's this? So I have to guess. Oh, this is Mahler. Wrong. And then dia kata, try again. Dengar. Okay, this is Schubert. Yes. Macam tu, he will always quiz me like that. Okay, who's this? Tchaikovsky. So until at that point, I really know the signature of different composers. All the Brahms, all the Tchaikovsky, all the Mahler, all the Mozart, Beethoven, and semua ni biasa lah kan. And there's a lot more. Banyak dia punya collection. So he was my music core. Because masa tu kita fikir, apa benda dengar turun bawah bising. So I was like, Uish.
That's beautiful. I think it's good to have that exposure and also seeing how your father have impacted you in your music career. I think that's really beautiful to have the
Early years
inspiration.
lah, early
Early
childhood years. But he's the one supporting lah. That's why masa lepas PM buat band dia tak kisah.
You see, so he knew about the process.
He understood lah the passion kan. Like normal parents maybe would want you to be in university, in college, right? Like not many would actually support. You go against the norm and say I want to play music. Itu tak normal tu. But today maybe it's different because it's proven like if you do it right, you can make a career out of it. But you must have discipline, you must have your plan, and you must have your support group system, your support system, your team, whatever. Semua benda dalam dunia ni kalau buat seorang boleh, tapi lambat and susah. Seorang punya kerja tu, you have to be extraordinary lah. Your strength, your commitment, your time. When you have a team, then you can have your vision. But getting that people to work for the same vision, that's half the challenge. You yourself have to believe in that vision.
Correct.
So one day you look back, okay, you know what's the funniest realization I got? Okay, ni sangat deep.
Okay, let's get deep. Can.
Right now, I realized when I was driving in a traffic jam the other day, bloody traffic jams, it made me realize, okay, what's the normal lifespan of a human being nowadays?
Nowadays, yes, 60, 70, I would say.
70? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm closer to death than I was to my birth. What kind of a realization is that kan? That means I'm 48. I'm closer to 70 than I was 48 years ago. The things will normally change, naturally change. Kan? As a person, you will think more of what you want to leave behind dah. What art are you going to leave behind? Apa orang nak ingat apa? Bila cakap Cik Razali, orang nak ingat apa? Okay, dia ada music dia ada ni, dia ada tu. Tapi manusia dia tu siapa? How? How we going to leave kita ni behind? So incompartmentalize bits lah kan. Oh, musically dia macam ni. Mungkin hosting nampak dia punya itu dia punya personality. Acting tu dia punya sisi-sisi lain. Ada juga sisi gelap dia. Ada juga sisi penyayang dia. Yeah, so it's just in a package. That's why I say at the end of the day, it's about creating life. What life is going to speak for you when you're not there? Okay lah, let's pull it out of that.
I mean with that.
Let's pull it out of that. Sometimes when you're stuck in a traffic jam, those are the thoughts that we get.
Okay, so what is the difference working with a local production versus an international production? What is the difference? Pros and cons?
They are, I think the system lah. I think the whole system is different. Over there, I work in a shift. And so does the technical team. There was this one time kita tengah buat recording, tengah shoot, ada crane besar apa semua, lampu besar semua. Director is in another room. It's the voice of God je dia kan, dengar suara je. One more take. One more time. Uno mas is one more. Only the director speaks English. Everyone else on set does not. Semua Spanish.
Wow.
Semua.
So you need to communicate to one person the whole time.
Yeah. And boleh lah I mean, you learn lah. Of course you will learn words and you can communicate. Hola, ¿qué tal? Bien, all these words and then you can speak to people, because then even if you go to the shoe shop nak order kasut pun susah. Size pun dia tak nak dengar English. 9 habla inglés, 9 habla inglés. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 7, 10. You have to know more basic. Okay. Anyway, so we were recording. Dia kata, okay, last take. We got no more time. Okay, the shift ends at 3. Kalau pagi habis 3. Kalau tidak, masuk 3 habis ke 10 malam. 3 sharp tutup lampu. I wasn't even done. I was halfway talking. 3 sharp. Pop. Okay, hasta mañana.
What? Yeah. Just like that?
Habis.
Everyone just left?
Yeah.
Okay.
Habis 3 sharp tutup. Go.
Wow.
Tomorrow sambung balik the same thing. Okay, we sambung yesterday. We not in Malay lah. Okay, we continue from yesterday.
Wow.
So and then everything was like prep, rehearse.
The working hours was insane.
There was more rehearsal times than shooting times, which I think is how it should be lah. Because when shooting time you just perform lah. Before that you rehearse all your salah and stuff like that. Rehearse lama. Bukan je me rehearse camera movement, because I have to walk from here to here, camera pun nak kena rehearse. Do again, camera faster. Let the camera go first before, and then you go for the camera. So it's like working with the big cam.
Okay.
So all the rehearsals was done first.
Like
Big cams yang macam apa AJL tu, because the operator is at ujung mana, because they need to go from high up and turun, tunjuk art, tunjuk balik atas sana, we are like communicating with all this. Was the rehearsals. So masa take sekali 2 kali dapat, but the rehearsal yang panjang.
And is it very taxing or is it quite
It
fruitful?
was a new experience, but then it was work. It became like work because dia tak ada buang masa, dia tak ada there's no waiting time, and then like ada time break for you, ada bilik sendiri. You know, they take you out like itu rasa macam star sikit lah. Habis time je, okay come Mr. Kushairi, bawa pergi bilik ada nama sendiri, everyday ada apa fruit box, apa fruit basket dalam tu, sofa, ada bantal, ada selimut, boleh baring, boleh minum kopi, kalau nak coklat boleh minta. Can I have more chocolates please, minta. Half an hour dia ketuk tek new shirt, pakai tukar baju lain, tukar baju pun macam ni je. Dah letak kain kat sini supaya tak kena make up, macam ni je. Tarik, masuk, turun. Okay, you go.
Oh, that's life. I mean, that is
Tak
really...
lah, at least one time adalah rasa macam tu. That was the level of how they treated you, to put you in this zone where you just need to focus on your work. Don't think anything else kan. Tak payah fikir tak ada air ke, tak ada ni ke, baju kedut ke, tak ada. You just fikir your work je. Sometimes as an actor, you get to other things, when you think of other things, dia kacau. For example, if you have to bring your own clothes to shoot, kan, and then like then other things start kacau in your head kan. You're not just thinking of what you need to do, you're thinking of colour apa aku nak bawa nanti, seluar ni kena dengan baju ni, but then I don't have to think of all that.
Wow. I mean, so is there how is
meaning
it?
to say the whole culture of working between here and there, the difference is that sana everything is prepped for you, everything is proper, but then again that's just one production. I don't know how they do films there, mungkin sama je, because films dah banyak benda dah apa variables dia kita tak boleh control.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, but then when it comes to hosting wise, that was it. The properness of it, the time, discipline, and the preparation, top notch. Even with people yang tak cakap English. And we managed to record 36 episodes.
26 episodes. 36 episodes in a span of how long?
2 months, 2.5 months.
2.5 months.
Yeah. Being given an apartment, chauffeur driven every day, bawa-bawa, diorang tunggu. Disney treatment, I call it.
Disney treatment. That's great.
I have a question.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yeah.
To be selected in a Disney company is not easy.
Yeah.
Especially on a very young age kan. What does it take for you to be selected for that role? And just now you mentioned that you inspired the most by your father. It starts because of music. And after music you have a break and then pergi to hosting. What inspires you, the changes to go for hosting, and who inspired you?
Okay.
And then,
The first one I think okay, let's take it back to the audition of the art attack. Okay, so it was open to Southeast Asia, so it wasn't just Malaysia kan. Indonesia semua pun ada juga. Philippines especially, dia kata Philippines ada banyak yang pergi try host. So I think what made me, got selected, I think, was that I myself was also into art. I myself daripada kecil suka draw, even took before I attack pun pernah masuk graphic design punya class. I really like art. So when it was regarding art, maybe I was more animated. Like macam wow, duduk atas pensel besar, and like maybe other people just sat on it, but then I took it and I tried to draw. I did crazy things. I think when I went out of the box and just went a bit extra, I think they saw that brotherhood, that gila punya abang besar yang macam kacau adik, yang macam that big brother yang nakal, but at the same time he's the one yang ajar lukis.
It's like you were born for the role.
I don't know lah kan, but but I felt like I enjoyed being in that role. So I think it was the enthusiastic towards art itself. I had it, so I wasn't just going in as a host. I was going in as an artist yang nak ajar art. So I took on the role even before getting it. So I think that was maybe the deciding factor. Now we have a new band. It's called The Exact. Music has a whole new journey for me now. Because I thought macam mana nak escalate music lagi kan. Now, the new band, the new stuff, it's 5 of us. Some songs, ada Amal yang nyanyi. Some songs, after a long, hard thought, I said let's go. Drums and vocals for a couple of songs. Whack. The only way kalau takut, practice and belajar. And slowly I'm listening mana my weaknesses. I'm knowing where are the areas that I need to improve. It's up to me lah. Kalau serious, you push yourself to improve and you do better lah. So it's all in my hands again. Music has a whole new journey. Acting, I will keep on focusing on my acting punya benda. There's something new that I'm gonna work on juga. So far I've got a good momentum with films. Nice. Like 2 years back I had one film, War on Terror. Last year I had Baba. This year I am looking at a couple of things. So,
what kind of role do you feel that you want to do this year? You've been a terrorist, you've been a dad.
I don't know.
And,
I mean, if you ask me what kind of roles, I don't know. But if you say dream role, then maybe, I do have.
What's your dream role?
A detective.
Detective? Okay.
Like a detective.
Maybe you can give a bit of insight of how you would...
Like a detective that will find ways to modify the exhaust pipe so that dia perlahan sikit. Tak adalah. A detective yang macam old school sikit. Dia ada dia punya pen and notebook, kena ada. Okay. And dia akan buat the unorthodox way of solving things. Like, sometimes if you need, while interrogation, you need to smack the guy, tutup kamera kejap, pang kejap, buka kejap, terjadi balik ke, that kind of detective. But then dia ada another partner yang by the books. But then to solve this case, let's just say the first ever serial murder punya case kat Malaysia. And this new polis yang ada sekarang tak boleh. Dia ni dah kena buang kerja dah sebab dia punya unorthodox ways. 5 tahun dah buang squad. But then to solve this, tuan dia cakap, for this one we have to bring back this dude. Dan semua orang macam, tuan, fikir betul-betul tuan. Takkan ni tuan tahu kan kes then you have all these young actors yang macam tak suka this guy. But he gets the job done. Tapi dia macam tu lah. I mean, you've seen these movies but you've not seen it here.
Would you want to direct something as well?
Direct and acting lain. I think if I direct, I won't be acting in it.
You won't be acting in it?
If I direct lah.
What if you could?
The first one.
What if you could? I mean, not the first one, but sooner or later, would you direct something?
I've thought about this. If I want to direct, I can ada someone else who is going to direct that's gonna direct me when I'm in there.
Oh, yeah, nice. Like a
Because I
co-director.
can't call myself kan. I think
True.
cakap macam kan banyak compromise kat situ nanti kan.
Betul.
So when I'm in there, someone else masuk and like tolong.
Nice. I think you have to form a very good chemistry to direct a film with someone.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so your
And-
ideas are aligned.
Oh, direct, I think let's not talk about film. For me, short film. In my head, short film.
Short films.
Short film.
Okay.
Tak nampak lagi film belum. Maybe when I'm 51, 52, 53, I don't know. Belum. Film besar belum. Short film ada berani sikit.
Yeah, I kind of have a question juga. Maybe this one final question from me.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, I think we all grew up inspired by you. I grew up listening to your music, then masuk tengok Attack, and then now actually yes, the past 2 years and actually last year in 1 month you have 2 movies ongoing, Legacy and also Baba, on the same time dekat wayang. And then now you're going back to music. You've gone through a lot in this period of time, and I am sure there's up and down.
Yes.
Yeah, so, and if you can give an advice to yourself, to your younger self, about all these things that you've done before.
Wow. Okay. Ups and downs in my career and life. I think the first big downfall that I had was 1999. OAG was somewhat at the peak. After recorded our second album, we were all feeling like rock stars and everything kan. Something happened. Okay, my dad had a talk with me. Okay, let's just say I developed a couple of unhealthy habits. My dad spoke to me. We had a long talk. He did not marah, he did not disown me, he did not kick me out of the house or whatever. We planned what we wanted to do. And I think at that point, I saw like, wow, this is a big decision in life, and this is how my dad approached it kan. Macam, okay, what are we going to... He gave options, so okay, first we can go this, second we can do this, third we can do this. So it's like, but it's a decision of my life, and he took it like this approach. So I'm like, okay, that was first big major lesson lah. Because before that was all biasalah kan, penting sekolah ke, marah lambat ke, bangun tidur ke, blah, 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 blah. But this was like a major life lesson yang, look, because the face that I saw in him, that dejection, the brokenness, macam apa yang aku tak bagi kau, macam tu punya muka kan. So macam a huge impact lah. So macam, okay, I follow you. Okay, apa nak buat ni? First kita pergi try tengok dekat klinik apa semualah. And then we went to sekolah silat. Sekolah silat, bro.
Sekolah silat. Oh, that's cool.
I could have been the Mike Kilau they wanted.
That was a goal. How many years were you in sekolah silat?
No, that's option 2.
That's option 2.
Masuk sekolah silat, and then we say no, okay, last one lah, the last option. So I was there for it was a private punya tempat. It wasn't anything. So it was like a macam mana, dia macam a school lah juga. A discipline school lebih kurang.
A discipline school.
Let's put it safely like that.
Okay.
So I was there. So when everything went into year 2000 millennium, everything was like boom, 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 boom. I was enjoying it from my school. So when I came out, that was the big shift. So I thought music was the cause, but it wasn't. It was just choices that we make. Okay, every day we make choices, and but once in a while there comes a time when one choice that you make will have a huge impact in your life. Like it will either make or break or change or besar gila. Once in a while you will come with that choice, and let's just hope and pray you pick the right way lah. So let's just say I made a bad choice. And all bad choices kena cut. Kalau tidak, it will grow and it will become cancerous and you won't see me here. So, the first downfall was losing everything that I've worked so hard for and building myself from scratch again. So I think that's why I did not associate with music, because then it would like bring me back into a lot of banyak benda. So I went into a different world. Masuk college, masuk kerja, jual alam, apa benda semua masuk, ADT masuk, so that I can start new. So I took my hosting seriously because that was my new life, reborn again, kan, so called. So that was the new me for a while. And then macam, because I wasn't always just I was a drummer, tapi I can play guitar and I write songs. So that was another part of creating that was huge. Muda-muda dulu berpuluh, entah beratus lagu kot. You know, all types of songs keluar, but it was never played, it was never heard, it was never recorded. So only now kita nak revisit balik, pilih. And the guys are cool enough to work on some of the songs. Yang mana tak boleh lah. Relax kan, time tu dah. Yang mana boleh we work on. So it was a whole new phase. So music was still part of me. And I realised, okay, music, no point turning down music. Memang dah ada dah kan. It's how to bring it forward. At that time tak nampak lagi. So it was just masuk OAG, keluar OAG, masuk OAG, keluar OAG, masuk OAG, keluar OAG. Baru sekarang nampak macam, oh sebenarnya we can. You can explore more.
That's beautiful.
Not to say like I put myself in there, but it was just the bond. The bond, and it shows on screen.
Yeah. I think that's the beautiful part about acting. Like you get to bond not as yourself, but someone or a character that you
But that
portray
person must want to.
to be.
Exactly. That
Yeah.
person, whoever your cast is, they must want to have that on-screen punya bond. Because if you alone want, dia tak jadi.
There has to be a chemistry in two people.
Even if there's no chemistry, then the one, okay, we may not have chemistry, but if you want to be my good best friend, but we don't have that best friend chemistry, but you want to be that best friend, we will look better on screen. But if we do have that chemistry, then we will really look like best friends.
Nice.
As opposed to you just reading out your lines and doing whatever. Adalah, kena ada sedikit heart lah in everything you do. Semua. From the person who writes the script, to the person who buats the water, to the person who does the set, to the actors, semua kena ada a bit of heart. Semua. That's just my philosophy.
Sounds good.
So when I'm directing nanti my short film, pergi kat tu kan tanya, ada hati tak ada hati? Ada, bagus.
Okay. Kalau,
Ada hati tak ada hati hari ni? Bagus.
kalau tak,
I'll be that weird
kalau tak ada,
director
keluar
kan.
lah. Is it? Kalau tak ada, keluar.
Tak ada. Kenapa? Cerita lagu kau kenapa?
Friendly, that's friendly.
We probe them. Tiba-tiba kita,
Nice.
how's your childhood? Tiba-tiba. If you're okay to compromise, by all means. Okay, fine. Ikut cara kau. But if you believe in something, benda tu kacau sikit kan, fight for it. Itulah dia. The embodiment of Razali is like, I can compromise a lot of things, but I won't compromise certain things.
Nice. Then I think one of your last words of encouragement is how can you advise like the new generation of people who's getting into this creative industry to stay true to their core?
Okay.
What advice can you give us?
I think you have to be true to yourself in the first place. You all have been given a platform. You all can reach out to a lot more people than me and my previous generations. What I would say is, if you have that extra edge, put something extra in you. If you want to become a singer or a band, learn from a young age. Go take vocal classes. If you want to go into acting, yes, you may have your basic talents, but learn, study, go deeper into acting so that you have that extra edge as opposed to someone else. I know this is cliche, beauty and popularity, dia graph, dia ada naik turun. Okay, but if you have talent, discipline and values, and your branding is strong, that will take you through time. If not, you will lose out by the next batch that's going to come in, that's more popular, that's more beautiful, that's more talented. Takkan kita nak tukar macam tu je. Boleh, dia boleh masuk. Seamlessly blend in. Where everyone else is just technologically equipped. So are you. But you have that heart in you.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much for coming today. Thank you so much for being a part of this episode. It really means a lot.
Thank you.
I'm glad I was able to dive deep and I get quite a good amount of stories today.
I hope I
From this
wasn't. Yeah,
conversation.
I hope I did not bear too much.
I know, it was great. It was great. Maybe next time we can do another one and get even deeper.
Yeah. Even deeper, huh?
Even deeper.
Deeper than throwing boxes down the window.
Yes. Thank you everyone for watching. Today I'm really blessed to have Chi Razali as our guest today.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed what you've just seen, don't forget to follow, like and subscribe. BareTalks. Be bold, be nude.